Welcome to Studio 58A Live here at the Jamaica Information Service, our discussion program coming to you live on Facebook. I'm your host, Vaughn Davis. Thank you to everyone joining us around the world, wherever you are. We really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for your eyes. And as you watch, remember to send in your questions and your comments so we can put them to our guest. And like how we have the attention, do us a favor, no man. Share this video with a friend or two or 5,000 so we can have a very lively discussion. Now, in honor of Jamaica 60, that's Jamaica's 60 years as an independent nation being celebrated this year, we wanted to do something special. We wanted to stop and do a deep dive into some of the things and experiences that are uniquely, quintessentially Jamaican. Things where, as you mention it, somebody just pop up and say, yeah, a Jamaica you come from, don't it? And we're going to spend a couple of shows doing that leading up to Independence Day on August 6th. And when we're looking around trying to think of the best way to start, when the other day I saw an ad for the Jamaica Rum Festival that happened the other day. A great event, by the way. Can't wait for the one next year. All right. And I found out that when I was watching that ad, I found out that Jamaica's own Wray Nephew White Overproof Rum has been designated the official spirit of Jamaica 60. And when I heard that, it's like a wave of nostalgia just hit me. I had flashbacks. I've seen my grandfather on the veranda in the evenings with a cup in his hand and the bottle not too far away. Of the time when I was sick and my grandmother poured some of the white rum in her and then sat my mole. I know the first time I think I tried some white rum for myself and I think, yes, me a big man now. And I realized that practically every Jamaican has a memory associated with Wray Nephew White Rum. It is almost a requirement. And I realized that is the perfect place to start with our white rum. So today we're going to talk a little about the history and legacy of Wray Nephew White Rum. And we have with us marketing manager at Wray Nephew, Pavel Smith, and also Gabriel Heron, vice president of marketing at Jampro, who's going to share a different perspective. But I'm glad to have both of you here today. Welcome to both of you guys. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Juan. Thanks for having me.
All right, Pavel, I'm going to start with you. I think I have one major question. I think, as a young person, I don't know the answer and you must know. So, Wray Nephew, who is Wray and who is his nephew? We're drinking it for all these years, but, you hear the name, but who is Wray and who is his nephew? Where did this come from? Where did this even whole rum begin in the first place?
Funny enough, you asked that, Vaughn, because that's a question we have always been asked over the years for persons, to give a comment on how this name came about. Now, this story of Wray Nephew, it started about 1825, right? John Wray, he would have been the pioneer of all this. And that started when he opened the Shakespeare Tavern in downtown Kingston. I think that's where Ward Theatre is now. That's actually the same spot where it all started, right? And what John Wray did, he produced his own rum within this location. Now, I would say about 30 plus years later, he would have invited his nephew, that's Charles Ward, right? So hence the reference to Ward Theatre a while ago. Charles Ward, he joined the company about 30, maybe 35 years later. And after John Wray passed, I think that was about 1870, around about that time, he left Charles Ward as the sole proprietor of the business. And that's where it went on to turn into Wray Nephew. So John Wray, who is the starter of all this, his nephew, Charles Ward, that's how it became the Wray Nephew as you know it today. That's where the name all came from.
All right. So somebody, a Scotsman, came to Jamaica, started a tavern. Is this tavern still around, by the way? I would imagine this is like a historic location.
Yes, man. It is still here in downtown Kingston. It's still there. So I would say to persons, if you're heading to downtown, once you ask persons where is the original Wray Nephew flagship location, they can point it to there. It's right at Ward Theatre, next to it. So it still exists to this day, still in operation, still carrying the swing in downtown Kingston.
All right, fantastic. So being established as the spirit of Jamaica 60, it just makes sense when you really think about it. It really makes sense because, as I was saying in my intro, I think every Jamaican has a memory or some kind of personal association with white rum. You know what I mean? Yeah. And with that, when you think about that, when you think of that, what does that conjure up for you when you think of that natural association? I mean, as we said, white rum is quintessentially Jamaican. There should be one in almost every house in the country right now.
Listen, Van. Wray Nephew is what you'd deem as authentically Jamaican, right? A true representation of you and I, and even Gabriel on this call. It represents us, born and bred here. Just think about what makes us uniquely Jamaican, and that is what Wray Nephew embodies. If you take our packaging, for example, I know you can probably see it in the background here. I have a bottle here, and I know everybody is familiar. It's familiar with this. If you look at the colors, our label, right, to represent the national flag, the black, green, and gold here. All these things are deliberate to just reference our Jamaican heritage, right? Again, if you talk about the personality of Wray Nephew, is the personality of a Jamaican, the vibrancy, this infectious spirit. We as a people, that vibe that we embody. Anywhere you go in the world and somebody hears somebody speak something, they can say that's most a Jamaican. Those are the things that Wray Nephew embodies. If you take aside our packaging for now, if you even look at our liquid, you see this clear liquid, that is also deliberate. We are talking about pure spirit, right? These are the things, even still so flavorable. I mean, we were speaking about it a little bit earlier, about some of the notes and the character, that citrus, that little tropical feel that comes with the flavor behind Wray Nephew. That's what we are all about. Again, so everyone know Wray Nephew is just a part of them. There are certain rituals that you might be undertaking. You're building a house, you have to start, and you have to,
sprinkle a liquid here. Just sprinkle a liquid.
The grave digging, So there are certain cultural rituals that is innate in us, and Wray Nephew is a part of it. And I think all of those things, when you think about them, it is what embodies Furi culture. And that's the campaign now that we have for Wray Nephew. It's all about Furi culture and how the brand represents that. So again, it's something that I would say is a part of the people. If you go in every Jamaican home, you will see a bottle of Wray Nephew. If you go in every bar across the country, you will see a bottle of Wray Nephew. And that's just one of the things that make us uniquely Jamaican. And that's what Wray Nephew represents. Hence the reason why we are the spirit of Jamaica 60th.
I want to bring Mr. Heron in here. Now, Mr. Heron, I would like to get from your perspective, curiously, as we had mentioned, we found out you worked at Wray Nephew back, for a little time before you transition over to Jumper. But I also want to get from you from a marketing perspective, from somebody who has, you've seen it, on both sides, as one who makes it and one who watches it growing in the marketplace and so on. What would you attribute to the success of, or the staying power of a brand like Wray Nephew, or not this white rum? Because, many come and many go. But for some reason, this one has managed to stand the test of time and become, as we said, uniquely Jamaican. We know it's a Jamaican rum, and that is the one that everybody loves and has a personal association with.
Right. So thanks for that question. I will take it from a more generalistic approach as it relates to rum. Wray Nephew is a staple rum product in Jamaica, and as you rightly mentioned and Pavel rightly mentioned, it goes hand in hand with Jamaican culture. We know this. We can put it on the shelf and we know this. But from a Jumper perspective, what I would like to look at is how rum and how the Caribbean and Jamaica is seen as a rum country, a rum culture. And not only that, how important it is from a Jumper Jamaica export perspective. So culturally, is embedded in our, when we go out, when we party, when we finish our construction, when we have a night, all of those things is a part of our culture, right? But I want us to also think of it from an economic perspective as well. We have to look at the numbers, right? We have to look at how it's impacting our economy. So simple things like from a global perspective, the rum market is $16.6 billion. That's a lot of money, right? And it's projected to grow another 6% up to 2025. So if Jamaica can get even a blimp, an increase in that market, our export and the impact on our economy is significant. So culturally, it's embedded. But what we want to do now is leverage that culture that we have. We have such an amazing impact on global culture, right? So if we tie that in with rum and package it and sell it together, can you imagine how much that will impact our rum sales, right? And I remember years back, there was a company, and from my jumper perspective, I can't be too preferential to any brand here. So you have to bear with me. There was a very good company that put out an ad, and it was talking about the different countries across the world. And like Germany, an engineer was saying, "Hey, we are great at engineering," and another country spoke about building cars, and then it flashed to Jamaica with that particular rum brand. And it's like, well, we are enjoying ourselves with our rum. And it was just an amazing, and because it embraced our culture, right? And so let me get back to it now. So from a Jamaica perspective, we've actually increased our export in rum by 50% since 2015. This is even through the pandemic. So understand that it is a part of our culture, but it's also hinged to our economic growth as well. So when we try and marry the two, and of course, Jamper does all that facilitation and promotions to look overseas distributors, manufacturers to get into the markets. I mean, as far-fetched as New Zealand, Australia, China, we make those connections to the local manufacturers. So it is important for us to recognize it as a part of our culture, embedded in our activities, but also recognize the potential and how it impacts our economy through exports across the globe.
All right, fantastic. People, if you're just joining in, we're here we're spending a little time talking about rum, specifically Wray Nephew White Rum, which has been designated the spirit of JA60. Why? Not just because of how it tastes and how we enjoy ourselves, but because I'm sure each and every one of you out there has some memory, some nostalgic feeling, something that you can associate with Jamaican rum. All of us probably grew up seeing a bottle of rum stashed away by our grandfather, our grandmother, or some older relative, or your uncles. Whenever we have a good time, have a family get together, or if you feel sick, as I mentioned before, your grandmother grab you and sap your mole with little white rum, or them have something blend up and put on with little white rum, with, or them baking, them drop some white rum in the side. You know the thing, guard. I would love if all of you could just share some memory. Tell me tell me your white rum story. Tell me something that some memory of yours that just evokes that feeling that white rum has been a part of. You know what I mean? That's what we're here talking about today. We're looking at things that are uniquely and intrinsically Jamaican, and we're starting with white rum. Wray Nephew White Rum, the one that we all know and love. I mean, there are definitely others, and we're not knock them, as Pavel, I'm sure you might not like that, but we can't knock all of them. But at the same time, we have to at the same time appreciate that Jamaica is almost synonymous with Wray Nephew White Overproof Rum. So in the comments, if you feel like it, jump in and share some experience, share some stories. Tell me about rum. Tell me a rum experience. Tell Pavel a rum experience. If you want, Pavel, if them not have enough rum over a certain part of your community or you need something, Pavel is here. Jump in the comments, send us a message, interact with him, say he can know. If you just like rum, I just want to big him up and tell him he's doing a good job. Jump in the comments and do that too. Let them know, let Wray Nephew know whether or not you appreciate what they're doing. And it's curious, because as we were talking before we started the show, Mr. Heron mentioned, but once upon a time, if white rum never run, if them never do the lines and make sure that enough rum was generated, people never get paid. So that just make you know, so rum is a serious business. People livelihoods are on the line when if the rum no produce, you know what I'm saying? So Pavel, I mean, to me, it begs the question. When I was younger, white rum, I'm not saying I drank white rum when I was small, ladies and gentlemen. That would be so irresponsible. Nothing like that.
Exactly. Nothing of that.
As I was older, I got to appreciate the taste and flavor profile of the rum a whole lot better. You know what I mean? So for those who may not, some tourists or a person in America who's there with a relative or new friends who have never tasted white rum before, what would they be in for if they crack open a bottle and start, to enjoy a sip or something like that?
listen, the Wray Nephew white overproof rum, I would say, think about it from the perspective of something fruity, right? So a lot of tropical fruits in terms of those flavors and notes is what you will get when you taste Wray Nephew. So we're talking about citrus, pear, maybe pineapple. Again, have molasses, of course, is a must. You will get an overton of molasses. Honey, of course. So everything just blended together to really create this intense, I would say, multi-sensorial flavor profile from Wray Nephew. And again, just in terms of our process of distillation and how we produce Wray Nephew, the smoothness within which it goes down is of paramount importance. So whilst persons might think of our ABV as something daunting, I'm saying once you mix it properly, then you will enjoy that experience of drinking Wray Nephew. Because again, the flavor profile of the rum itself is one that no other rum, white rum in Jamaica, can compete with. And that's fact. That's fact. Wray Nephew is still the spirit and still the best as it relates to being the benchmark of white rum within Jamaica.
Yeah, quick show some love quickly to Coco Jaja, who jump in the comments and said, when Papi sick him splash rump on him face, big up Wray Nephew. See the Pavel, so yeah. I don't know, I don't know which medical handbook him get that done.
And that's the thing, That's the thing. We don't communicate Wray Nephew to have any health or medical properties, right? This is really for relaxation and consumers wanting to enjoy the moment. But of course, first, that's us as Jamaicans. We always, I said, twist your hand to fashion and make something out of nothing. And I think a lot of these rituals came from that person's trying to figure out, how to do things differently. And that's just innate in us as people. But for us, it's really about the celebratory moments. It's really about the enjoyment with your friends, how you're sharing that bottle of rum and enjoying whichever activity you're doing. That's what we really promote behind Wray Nephew, not the perceived health benefits the person might have of the brand.
Absolutely, we know you have to say, but as you say, it is a lifestyle. It's beyond merely just for them. It's for many of us Jamaicans. It goes well beyond just something that we drink casually with friends and having a good time. Is an intrinsic part of our cultural practices and activities and so on. So you can't how we, it's more than that. You know what I mean? So we have to
definitely part of the rituals, part of the culture. Again, when I even mentioned the Christmas thing a while ago, pouring in a sorrel or pouring in a Christmas cake, I was like, we're at the wrong time of the year. This should be end of year. The mere fact that you just mentioned that, immediately I start thinking of Christmas cake and stuff. So there are things ritually that people do with Wray Nephew, and there are a myriad of them. And I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of that in your chat comments, because again, once you travel across the parishes, you will get the stories and you'll get persons sharing what they have done with Wray Nephew, how they incorporate it in their day-to-day lifestyle. And that's just why Wray Nephew is just fitting as part of the fabric of the culture of us as Jamaicans.
Now, let me just switch back over to Mr. Heron. Now, in terms of from where you are looking at it and being able to cap it, let's go even deeper into the conversation of being able to really capitalize on those unique identifiers that are Jamaican and turn them into even more revenue generating ideas. And now looking at things like, for example, the Rum Festival that we had the other day and other ways that you suggest that we can maybe take this kind of unique association with rum and Jamaica and maybe even capitalize, push it even further? Have you given, from where you sit, how do you see us being able to capitalize even further on something as natural as this, it seems?
Yes. All right. So, absolutely. And I want to mention something. It will be interesting for Pavel to create a list, or even your listeners know, to send in what I do with my white rum and how extensive that list, confirming how embedded it is in our culture. Because you believe you mean it, gentlemen, there's a lot more than we realize. It's more than just the Christmas cake and the sorrel and there's a lot of other things that, in terms of cooking, you'll be very surprised about the different dishes and such. But to get to your question, Vaughn, as it relates to tourism, right, and even sales, people buy and people purchase with emotions first, and then they use logic to rationalize their purchase, right? So when we parallel or when we pair tourism or our culture with rum and the spirit of rum and how it ties into the Jamaican culture, it makes for an easier sell, right? And as I mentioned earlier, you know, when we can do that and the impact that Jamaican culture has globally, I mean, we hit way above our weight class as a cultural powerhouse, right? So when we have rum as a part of that culture and we put it on the shelf, I remember going into a bar in London when I spent some time in London, and a guy heard my accent. The bartender heard my accent, and he touched my shoulder and him point, literally right away in point. So this is what you want. So instinctively, as Pavel said, they know Jamaican rum brands, and this wasn't a Jamaican bartender, it was, you know, a British bartender. So my point is, it's a very powerful sell when we have the Jamaican culture that people love, and you parallel rum with it, because people purchase with emotions first, right? And that is what is important about how the tourism, and I must commend Ministry of Tourism and the Jamaica Tourist Board, the Rum Festival, you know, amazing event. And it's a great way to parallel and to really package the two. And I'm sure that every tourist that went there, I guarantee they would have bought rum to carry back home. And that's the conversation that will continue. So, you know, so those are my thoughts on it, really. I think it's an excellent way to package Jamaican culture in a bottle.
All right. We have to show some love online again. Joanne Maxwell says, I soak it with ginger, pimento, and the green one, and I use it in the winter, and it works. You see, the Pavel, I don't know, you might have to go start with a pharmaceutical wing, Wray Nephew, at some point, something think about in the future. But from where you sit, Pavel, talk to me about the staying power of how are you able to keep it current? Because even though there is a traditional association with this particular rum brand in Jamaica, you have to make it relevant to the generation coming behind. It's one thing for me, see my grandfather drink something, but then there will always be competing, brands, rums, spirits, liquors, all that kind of thing. But for some reason, it's almost like a rite of passage once you get older and you attain that legal drinking age, as we all promote persons to attain before they consume any alcoholic beverage. As you attain that, it's like a rite of passage as a Jamaican person to say, yes, I am now able to participate and I can now sit at the adult table and drink with the elders and drink with the spirit of choice, which naturally is white rum.
Listen, I think when you look at it, Vaughn, from the perspective of how Wray Nephew is respected, right, nationwide, how persons adore the brand, I think that's what has been part of the testimony to why it's still relevant today, right? Again, we know we are part of the culture and the lifestyle, but how persons recognize this brand as being truly Jamaican and a true representation of you as a Jamaican, it becomes a part of persons wanting to delve into the aspect of interacting with Wray Nephew. Again, Mr. Heron spoke about his travels and how persons, a bartender, not a Jamaican, but a bartender could easily recognize the significance of Wray Nephew to him as a Jamaican. And it just shows that it spans beyond just us here living in Jamaica, but also within the diaspora, to say, how does Wray Nephew transcend the waters? How does it breathe that culture beyond just the limits of our shores? And that's what has helped to keep us relevant to this day. And I want to mention to persons, that you can take Wray Nephew out of Jamaica, but you can't take Jamaica out of Wray Nephew. And trust me, that has been so true to this day. And what we have done, we have continued to reflect the lifestyle of our current Jamaicans. We have continued to reflect our heritage of us as Jamaicans. So what you're getting is a marriage of where we come from, where we are today, what Jamaica was, what Jamaica is now. And I think that is what has created this marriage between, I would say, the elders and also the youngsters and also the middle-aged persons of still feeling that inclusive nature that Wray Nephew is appealing to them, that Wray Nephew is a part of their lifestyle and can be incorporated in their celebrations. I think that's part of what would have attested to how Wray Nephew has remained relevant. And again, I would have mentioned it earlier, the fact that Wray Nephew is a staple in every home, in every bar across the island. I think those traditions have kept us relevant to this day and ensure that Wray Nephew remain of paramount importance in part of your lifestyle and you saying that you're an authentic Jamaican. If you don't have a Wray Nephew at home, we might revoke a Jamaican card, and that's the reality. So I will say for every Jamaican now listening, you know, if you're running low on your bottle, be sure to ensure that you have that backup bottle, because again, if we come to visit and we don't see a Wray Nephew there, we are going to be questioning your Jamaican card, and that's the reality.
I forgot side I wonder what go on. Something must have go on.
Exactly.
Victor Anderson, showing up to Victor Anderson, who jumped on, says, Wray Nephew White Overproof Rum is a perfect product. We all use the item in almost everything that we do. Even people with sickness can't have parties without this white rum. See, the Pavel, I don't think you get a better endorsement than that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You can, if you are keeping as you say, you can have a party. You're keeping if you're opening a bar, and again, we have spoken to the economic impact that a brand like Wray Nephew would have on our economy. If you're operating a bar and Wray Nephew isn't there, then you're losing revenue. If you're at a party and you're not maybe having a drink of Raytastic, then are you having the best time? And that's what we try to encourage, that Wray Nephew is a part of not only your survival as it relates to the economic stability, but also just part of the enjoyment with your friends and those celebratory moments. Wray Nephew is part of our culture, and it just has to be present there.
Let me ask you this though, for persons who might want to, we had talked about the Rum Festival itself and being able to get a better or deeper appreciation of how, you know, the work and the effort that goes into crafting this product. Because, you know, many people might just see this transparent, clear liquid. We know what it do, we know if we drink it, but I'm sure there are many persons who might be fascinated with the whole process. I know you mentioned that there are seminars that you have at the Rum Festival, but if persons are interested in getting a better idea, are there other seminars persons can check out ways to understand the rum in a better, you know, in greater detail?
You know, because we try to keep these seminars exclusive, because we do charge persons to attend these seminars for Wray Nephew at the Jamaica Rum Festival. So we normally keep it exclusive to that platform. If we do something else, it will probably be a one-off execution. But at the Jamaica Rum Festival is where persons get the opportunity to delve into the history of the brand, delve into the rum making process, delve into what we mean when we say overproof rum and how that is different from an underproof rum, delve into the making of cocktails and which liquid pairs best with which chaser and which ingredient to add. There are a lot of things that we cover in these seminars. And again, even though we could present the information here in this session, of course, that would be unfair to our consumers who would have, you know, gone out of their way to travel to Montego Bay and attend our seminars to delve into this exclusive behind the scenes of Wray Nephew. And we want to keep it like that to ensure that, you know, our true loyalists and our true adorers of the brand, they can have some exclusivity in sharing some insights on the brand itself and how it comes together within our market.
And we're going to stick up in terms of coming back, and I might lean on Mr. Heron, who has he as we said, we were talking a little bit before the show started, and he was able to share a little bit of I just want him to give persons an idea of the complexity that goes into it, but we're going to stick up in and come back to that. I want you to share, as we mentioned before, you're the official spirit of Jamaica 60. So that suggests that you must have some special plans going ahead. So what are some of the things persons can look out for from Wray Nephew, especially the white rum brand, going forward into Jamaica 60 and our celebrations and activities and so on?
No problem. So as it relates to Jamaica 60th, we have a lot of big things planned. And the first one I want to touch on is our limited edition white overproof rum that we have launched at the Rum Festival. Now, I have it on screen here. Our persons can see it properly. And this is what we consider our main activity that we're leveraging to pay homage to Jamaica 60th. So it's our first ever, once in a lifetime edition. I'm telling persons now, limited edition white overproof rum. It pays homage to each parish of Jamaica. It's dubbed the Parish Collection. And what we have done is we have created a unique packaging per parish. So each parish has its own design. So what you're seeing now is our nation's capital, Kingston. And if you realize, you can see Kingston on the label here of the design. And each parish will have its own design. So St. Catherine will have its design. St. James has its design. Manchester, Clarendon, each parish has their own unique design. And what I'd encourage persons to do is just play your part in supporting Jamaica's history, supporting this monumental moment. This is a project that we partnered with the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports with to bring to the market. So again, it's not just us doing this as it relates to Wray Nephew, but us showing that we are a true representation of Jamaican culture and lifestyle. So this is a big deal for us as it relates to our limited edition. We actually start distributing next week within our market. We launched at the Rum Festival and our distribution will start next week. So it will be in major supermarkets, and we encourage persons to go out. If you're from Manchester and you're living in Kingston, then of course you have to secure your parish of birth and you have to secure your current residence. And I will say to persons that the supply of this is not like the regular supply of Wray Nephew. It's a limited edition, limited time offer item. So I will encourage persons to get it as soon as they see it on shelves, because it will go fast. We are already getting the request for it since we launched at the Rum Festival. We actually had an exclusive sale at the Rum Festival, and based on the results from that, I can say to persons that this will not last us till the end of the year, most definitely not. So again, this is the major activation we have around Jamaica 60 in terms of leveraging this limited edition. And there are other activities that we are partnering with the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports with, as it relates to, Grand Gala and some of the other activities that they will be executing, Commonwealth Games and World Championships. Just these activities that makes us proud and feel truly, great to be a Jamaican. These are the type of activities we'll continue to reinforce so that everyone can see and recognize that Wray Nephew is a true representation again of our culture and of course the spirit of Jamaica 60th.
So, well, first of all, me I go on one. So me need to go line up myself to get to one as soon as possible for Catherine. But Coco Jaja jumped online as she saw you holding it up and said, so hold on, warm to the people overseas, how them going to be able to get for them own for Jamaica 60?
So we do have in our duty-free outlets at the airport, so persons who are visiting, they will be able to purchase through that aspect. If it is they are in markets, they can purchase from supermarkets as well, but they will be in our duty-free stores as well for persons who are visiting and traveling within that period. But this is really being sold right now exclusively in Jamaica, and we'll encourage persons who might be visiting for the summer or later on in the year to try to secure yours. If you have a relative here, ask them to head on to the supermarkets and secure it for you so that when you're visiting, of course, you can have your part of history in terms of this Wray Nephew limited edition, the Parish Collection. Yeah,
definitely. I can foresee that one doing extremely well. I don't think you're going to have Anne for sell that one because, as I said, something intrinsic in me a while ago. Say I need to have, if it's even for just have it put out in my house, put one side. Yeah, I might need to get definitely. Coco just jump back on and ask you how long will it be available?
So it will be available while stocks last, because again, it's a limited amount we're doing in terms of the stock for sale. So that's why I would encourage persons to say, once we start distributing next week, and this will be in all major supermarkets, so which right across the island nationwide. So once you see it, I would say to persons, go out and grab it. It's a first come, first buy option. And I would say to persons, just look out for it. It will be out in our supermarkets. It will be in some of our select gift shops. So once it's out there, I would say to persons, just get it right there and then. Because again, I can't say that this will last until the end of the year. Based on the feedback we got at the Jamaica Rum Festival and the purchases we got, we don't suspect that this will be in the market for a very long time. So I would say to persons, once it's out, try and secure yours. Try and secure yours as soon as possible.
Coco asked how much it costs, Pavel. How much feet?
Price on shelf, you will pay possibly about $7,000. I mean, every supermarket may be different, but you're looking within that range for the purchase of it. It does come with a booklet inside. It comes also with a collector's card. And again, the liquid of this is actually stronger than the current Wray Nephew. So that will be something interesting for persons. I won't say it here. I won't say it here on the call, but hence the reason why I'll ask persons to go out, look for it, interact with it. Let me take it out of the package so at least persons can see.
Let's see what it
looks like. Give me a second. So this is what the bottle looks like.
It's different, yeah, man. Right. Okay, yes.
Here, so this is for Kingston. So here you see we're featuring Ward Theatre, and each parish has their own parish landmark with a storied history. So even in this brochure, there's also a story behind the landmark and how it's relevant to us as Jamaicans. And it's just a great, I would say, keepsake, a collectible item for us for celebrating this Jamaica's 60th year of independence.
Coco said, "Oh lad, no, yeah, teaser.
I like how excited Coco is about it. I like how excited. Coco, I hope you purchase the first bottle and let us know when you actually do.
All right, yeah, man. That's a good look. That's definitely something special. You definitely have to go. So people, I don't think I need to say anything else. I know that going to go fast. Everybody will want their unique, souvenir, something special. And I think, that checks all the boxes. It's beautiful packaging, extra special rum. You said even stronger than the natural, the original blend or flavor, or whatever the case may be. People are definitely going to be gravitate. Worse, you have different parish associations, different ones for different parishes. People are going to love that. That I think that should be a real big Coco. So yeah, man, may I forget one.
Yes, man. Right now, my phone is vibrating, and I know it's because of the persons here watching, knowing that I would be here. And my phone is vibrating nonstop right now beside me. And I know that's why persons are calling, asking how they can secure theirs. But again, I say to guys, look out in our supermarkets. It will be out. Follow our social media pages. We may do a few giveaways at Wray Rum on our Instagram and Facebook pages. But again, I would encourage persons, to go and secure theirs in stores.
All right, let me bring you back in, Gabriel. I want to ask you, we were talking a little bit, and you gave us a little idea of just the complexity and what it takes to really create this. It to us, it just looks like a clear liquid that tastes like liquid fire, but very nice with Pepsi and Coca-Cola and a little ginger ale. Never mind. Anyway, so and very nice. How do we, when somebody looks at it, just give us an idea of the
no problem. So first of all, I want to mention to Pavel that Jumper is located at 18 Trafalgar Road. So if you need to know where to send, that is very clear. All right.
Noted.
All right. So definitely. And I like the fact that there's an increase from 63 to 70% to give that extra kick, for the commemoration. So to your statement, to your question, Vaughn, and this goes back to how unique rum is to Jamaica, because it comes down to the soil. So for every distillery and for every sugarcane farm that the different, what you call rum marks come from, each of them have a different flavor profile. So let's speak to Wray Nephew, white rum for argument's sake. They may get different rum marks from 6 or 7 different farms across. I'm not going to call the names. I won't call the names, but there are different types of rum marks as well that they put into one blend. So one distillery will give it a different flavor profile because it may be pot distilled or column distilled, different types of getting the alcohol and how many, the type of organics that are actually left in the alcohol. So every distillery have a different flavor profile. So when you get to Wray Nephew, they will get different rum marks, blend them together to create that special flavor profile. So Appleton Estate may have a particular flavor, Hampden, Money Muscat, the different estates that have rum. I know that everything don't go into Wray Nephew anymore, but the point is different flavor profiles from different farms, and it comes down to the soil, come down to the type of distillery. So when they get that now and they combine it, and in some instances, if you go even into Appleton or Money Muscat or other type of aged rums, they look at the aging process creates a different flavor profile for each different type of rum. So you have different type of rum that are aged from different farms, from different distilleries, and you combine all of that to create a very unique and special flavor profile. And then I do it now, when you're aging the rum, you add other special ingredients. I won't speak to the special ingredients, as we spoke about earlier, because that is, proprietary. So they may put different type of organics, whether it be ginger, whether it be citrus, whether it be whatever it is. The different rum companies are different things, and those are standard approaches, right? So I'm not giving out any secrets here. But so for every rum, and that's why I said it's very unique to Jamaica, because it even starts from the soil. It even starts from the soil of the country and the richness of the soil and the farms. So when you look at a bottle of rum, you probably think it's probably maybe 10 different or 15, 20 different types of rum in that one bottle of rum that they've blended together and then bottled and given that to you to enjoy. So it's a very complicated process, believe you me. And there's a strong appreciation for it, especially, do the rum tour. I will encourage people to do the rum tour to get a good idea of, how wonderful and how amazing the process is and how embedded it is in our history as well. And also the whole manufacturing side of it, So, yeah, very important.
So there you have it, people. We just pour it in and, over the teeth, through the gums, that kind of thing. But if you can, take the time to stop and savor and appreciate the taste, because I'm sure that, the blenders and so on will appreciate that. You take the time to really appreciate the flavor and the flavor profiles, the different things, and try to suss it out and determine how they make it, and just appreciate also that this is an iconic brand that is Jamaican, it's local. Our experts here are able to craft this thing that has lasted. Pavel, how long has Wray Nephew been around now?
Since 1825. So we have a storied history. We have a storied history.
So you can just appreciate that our local people are able to craft a product that stands up to, and that's a good place to look also in terms of our ability to stack up against rums around the world and so on. White overproof rum. How we stay, Pavel? We go on good, don't it?
Yes, man. We internationally recognized, awarded over the years, right? From ever since we have been receiving international accolades, and this even dates back to 1862. If persons actually look at our label, they'll even see some of the awards on it here that we would have even received over the years, from then till now, as it relates to how recognized our brand is. There are certain gold medals that we have won. 2014, we even won the double gold medal at the Spirit World competition. So we are tried and tested. Ultimate Spirits Challenge, we have exceeded it, and we are just, you'd say, one of the trending rums globally. Last year we were highlighted again as a trended white spirit globally. So again, the quality and excellence that Wray Nephew is produced under, it's paramount to none other. And we are, again, as I said, the benchmark of where rums are judged in Jamaica. So definitely internationally recognized, and we have the awards and the accolades to validate it.
I'd go back even further. Sorry, Vaughn.
Go ahead.
The rum manufacturing and the rum processing in Jamaica started as far back as 1749 with the establishment of a particular rum estate. So when you think about it, rum is deep within our culture, and there are other countries in the Caribbean that delves into it as well, but from within a Jamaican context, when you think about it, 1749, it's a long time ago.
That's serious. Coco had asked one question. I mean, how many bottles per parish should be available? You would be doing, different assortments for different allotments rather for different parishes. I guess you must have an idea. Maybe if you want to try and collect all 14 or so on. So, Pavel, how, in terms of that, can you say what kind of distribution is going to be happening in that regard?
Yes, we will have enough if persons want to collect all 14. If you're in a particular parish and you want to collect all 14, it will be available within each parish. So you don't have to worry that if you're in St. Anne and you wanted to purchase a parish, you wanted to purchase Westmoreland, Westmoreland will be available in St. Anne to purchase. So we do have sufficient stock that we are leveraging within the market. So persons will have the ability to purchase all 14 within their parish. You don't have to travel across the island to get a particular parish. You can stay right there in your particular parish and purchase what you need. So we do have sufficient stock. But again, as I say to people, similarly to how Wray Nephew sells in Jamaica in general, think about this limited edition. Again, it's a limited edition. That means we won't do the numbers that we normally do on our regular Wray Nephew product. So this is a reduced amount in terms of quantities. Hence the reason why I say to persons, once this is out, go out and get yours, because again, it will not last long. And you will have persons who are purchasing not only for themselves, but for others, and may prevent you from accessing a bottle as quickly as you would have wanted to. So I say to persons, once it's out, just go out and get yours. But we will have sufficient stock for all parishes that you can purchase in a sufficient manner.
All right, Victor, just quickly, Victor Anderson said, need to get mine soon, all caps. So that means Victor sound like him already. You already have a customer where that is concerned, Pavel. So it sound like Victor and Coco, but I'm sure you already figuring this is going to move like hot bread. Okay, as we move to bring things down, I guess I just want to also say that JIS is located at 58A Halfway Tree Road. So, Pavel, do use that information however you wish. I'm just saying, but
listen, let me just coming back to that question for Coco. Let me give an idea of the type of quantities we're looking at. We have 14 parishes, right? And the numbers that we have produced, we're looking at numbers in 14s. So think about it like that, and you'll get an idea that we are limiting the amount that is available, I would say, to the market, again, to just tie back to the 14 parishes of Jamaica. So we don't have, as I said, that extensive quantity that persons would enjoy on the regular Wray Nephew. We may be looking at about 14,000 cases available island-wide for sale. So again, persons need to think about how quickly they can get their hand on their parish.
All right, people. I think with all that we've talked about and learned, we've learned about the history of where Wray Nephew, who is Wray, who his nephew is, the long-standing traditions, and how Wray Nephew has managed to stay viable. Notwithstanding all the competition in the liquor and the spirits market, Wray Nephew remains one of the more established brands. As we said before, it's uniquely Jamaican. If you have a bottle of rare white rum in your house, we don't know something off by your house. We don't know what go on, but we have to check you out first. You know what I'm saying? And so, we have to say kudos to you for lasting this long. It is not easy. It's not simple. It's not something that just happen. It's not something we just, because people could have just as easily decided, now we don't like this and we're going to move on to something else. But the fact that people have still upheld this brand And it, as Gabriel said, when you go across the world and you can just see a Jamaican and point to it on the shelf and know that, yeah, all right, this is a Jamaican. There's just a natural connection there. It's kudos to you for all the hard work that you guys have done and made sure and to craft and sustain such a quintessentially Jamaican brand. So kudos to you and everybody over there, and especially the blenders who spend the time to create this wonderful product that we have all enjoyed. All right. I guess with that said, it's time for us to wrap. Thank you to everyone who tuned into our discussion, especially those of you who sent in your questions and your comments. And if you have a question and we didn't answer it, not to worry. You can drop it in the comments. We'll go through afterwards to see if we can get the right information for you. Okay. Now, remember, our audience plays a major part in our show. If there's anything or anyone particularly like us to have in studio, let us know. We'll try to have that person in studio as soon as possible. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at Jamaica Information Service. And while you're at it, definitely check out Wray Nephew. Definitely check out Jumper. We have to plug them too because they're doing a whole heap of work to see if we can get the Jamaican brands and different elements of Jamaican culture and heritage and business and so on all over the world. We'll power them over there. So check them out and see what they're going on with. And we do this, nothing else to say. We do this every week live on Facebook. And I've been your host, Vaughn Davis, and this has been Studio 58A Live. Thank you all for joining us, and please have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care to both of you, Gabriel, Pavel. Have a good one. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, man.